Hey everyone, welcome back to You May Disagree. So, the 1970s, it was a legendary decade for music, but for me, it was certainly much more than that. It was the era that completely defined my love for music. It was the music from this decade that inspired me to pick up the guitar. Now, obviously, there are thousands of incredible classic songs from that era, but today, I want to share the ones that really kick-started my own musical journey. I'm sure many of you have your own favorites too, so don't hold back. Drop your picks in the comments below. With that said, let's get the show on the road. Alrighty, starting us off at number 7 is More Than a Feeling by Boston. Now, I realize Boston kind of was, and yet wasn't a traditional band. But hey, this album was pure gold. I'll never forget when my two older brothers and I heard it for the first time back in '78. Tom Scholz basically built the entire sonic masterpiece by himself, but the sound captured on this album was unbelievable, almost magical. That opening acoustic fade-in, the massive guitar crunch, and Brad Delp's soaring vocals completely blew us away. It was a defining moment that cemented my love for rock and roll. Coming in at number 6 is Freebird by Lynyrd Skynyrd. Now, I realize that today, in 2026, this song has been way overplayed on classic rock radio. But back in the late 1970s, it was still completely fresh. When you heard that track back then, it wasn't a cliché, it was an absolute masterpiece. That soulful, melancholic opening build leading into one of the most explosive, fast-paced triple guitar solos in rock history absolutely captivated me. It showed me just how powerful and epic a rock song could truly become. Coming in at number 5 is Bad Company by Bad Company. My oldest brother used to play this song all the time when we were kids, and I really took a liking to it. That dark, moody piano intro, mixed with Paul Rodgers' powerhouse vocals, it gave it this heavy, gritty atmosphere that completely hooked me. What keeps me hooked is how patient the guitar is. Mick Ralphs doesn't overplay. He just drops these massive, low-tuned chords right when the song needs them most, letting the notes ring out with pure menace. It is a masterclass in classic rock swagger, and I still jam out to it to this very day. Number 4 brings us to Runnin' with the Devil by Van Halen. That thumpin' opening bass line, followed by Eddie Van Halen's explosive guitar riff, pure gold. I was completely sucked in, right from the get-go. When that debut album dropped, Eddie didn't just play guitar, he completely rewrote the rulebook. The sheer attitude, that legendary brown sound of his guitar crunch, and the raw swagger of the whole band, it showed me a completely new, dangerous side of rock and roll. Instead of hiding behind a wall of fuzzy distortion, his tone was incredibly clean, crisp, and punchy. He combined these sharp chord stabs with little bluesy fills that made his guitar sound like a second lead vocalist, trading lines right back and forth with David Lee Roth. It is the ultimate anthem of rock rebellion, and it never gets old. Taking the bronze medal at number 3 is Room Service by Kiss. I always come back to this track because that opening riff, it was my official introduction to the world of heavy rock music. All of my love and my entire interest in heavy rock completely stems from right here. As a 7-year-old kid, hearing Ace Frehley's raw, driving guitar work on this song, it completely blew my mind. That raw, crunchy bite you hear isn't from a distortion pedal. It is the sound of his guitar's high-output pickups, naturally pushing the vacuum tubes of a cranked Marshall amp until the speakers naturally broke up. That unfiltered studio energy gives the track this incredible, fast-paced momentum. It wasn't just a great tune, it was the exact spark that set my entire musical journey in motion. Coming in at number 2 is Rock and Roll by Led Zeppelin. This is another spectacular, high-octane track that my eldest brother introduced me to. From John Bonham's explosive opening drum intro to Jimmy Page's fierce, driving guitar riff, this track is an absolute lightning bolt. Hearing Robert Plant scream and the entire band just fire on all cylinders showed me the absolute peak of rock and roll power. What makes Jimmy Page's guitar work so incredible here is how he plays slightly ahead of the beat. He uses a continuous rolling blues rhythm that makes the whole song feel like a runaway freight train. Instead of a heavy distortion pedal, he cranked a classic tube amp to get that biting, jagged crunch, and the studio engineer actually mixed the guitar slightly left and right to make it sound like it's completely surrounding your headphones. It is a masterpiece that I still crank up every single time it comes on. And finally, taking the absolute crown at the #1 spot is I Want You to Want Me by Cheap Trick. Specifically, the legendary live version from the Cheap Trick at Budokan album. This track is the absolute definition of a perfect rock song. From that iconic bouncing opening guitar riff to the explosive, roaring energy of that screaming Japanese crowd, I liked it the exact moment I heard it. What makes this live version so superior to the studio original is how guitarist Rick Nielsen completely lets loose. He ditches the polite studio tracking, cracks his volume wide open, and drives the melody forward with this hyper-energetic, punchy rhythm that practically forces you to jump out of your seat. This song is just overflowing with pure energy. It demonstrates beautifully that rock and roll can be heavy, deeply melodic, and unbelievably fun, all at the exact same time. It is a track that was absolutely instrumental in my lifelong obsession with music. So there it is, my list of songs from the 1970s that truly defined my love for rock and roll. Like I always say, you may disagree, and I want to hear your story. Which specific songs from the 70s first lit that rock fire for you? Drop your picks down in the comments below. Hit that like button if you had fun taking this trip down memory lane, and consider subscribing to help the channel grow. Thanks for watching, take care, and I will see you next time.